The wait is finally over. After months of radio silence, Sony Pictures and Hailee Steinfeld just dropped the biggest Spider-Verse update we've gotten since the sequel ended, with that mind-blowing cliffhanger. We're talking official confirmation that Beyond the Spider-Verse is back in active production, brand new recording sessions happening right now, a bunch of more updates, and the first concrete details about what's coming next for Miles and Gwen. But that's not even the craziest part. We've got more crazy exclusive news. Plus, there's a twist coming about the production process and the release date that you probably didn't expect. Yes, they changed it again after delaying it. First up, Hailee Steinfeld just confirmed what Spider-Verse fans have been desperately waiting to hear. She's actively recording new dialogue as Gwen Stacy, and the process is unlike anything she's experienced before. In her recent Variety interview, Steinfeld revealed something fascinating about how Sony Animation approaches these films. She's recorded the word Miles in dozens of different ways, creating what she calls a whole library. She said, "We're into it. I wonder sometimes if anything ever gets scrapped, because I've said the word Miles in so many different ways and tones, they probably have a whole library." But the process is constantly changing. Guys, this isn't your typical animated movie production. Most animated films work from finished scripts where actors record their lines and that's it. But Spider-Verse operates completely differently. Recently, Steinfeld explained that they never get the full script at the beginning. Instead, it constantly changes and evolves throughout production. What makes this particularly exciting is that this fluid approach is exactly what gave us the groundbreaking animation and storytelling of the first two films. We'll come back to that, but first, let's talk about Andrew Garfield. Why? Because there has been rumors about him wanting to join Beyond the Spider-Verse. When asked about it, he laughed. Blue, that signature nervous laugh will be familiar to fans who remember Garfield's No Way Home press tour, where he spent months deflecting questions about his involvement only to show up in one of the biggest Spider-Man moments in movie history. This time, though, he's a little more transparent about what he wants to do next. Andrew Garfield expressed his interest for a potential return to the Spider-Verse, citing his admiration for the animated films and their writer-producers, Phil Lord and Chris Miller. He also shared his interest in characters like Wolverine, specifically mentioning Hugh Jackman, and acknowledged Tom Hardy's portrayal of Venom. Garfield concluded by stating, "I'm up for a good time," which many interpret as a clear desire to reprise his role as the Amazing Spider-Man, potentially in the upcoming Beyond the Spider-Verse. The animated multiverse adventure is still one of the most creative playgrounds in superhero storytelling, and Garfield's version of Peter Parker would fit right in alongside Miles Morales and Gwen Stacy. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Another thing is that, this week, the most important update for Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse is that the Sony Pictures panel scheduled for New York Comic-Con on October 11, 2025, was canceled, meaning there will not be any new footage, teaser, or major announcements at NYCC as fans had hoped. This is a disappointment for those expecting big news from the event. But moving on, what this recording process actually reveals about where the movie stands right now. When Steinfeld says we're into it, she's not talking about early development or pre-production planning. She's describing active voice recording sessions that happen during the meat of animation production. This means Sony Animation has moved far beyond concept art and story treatments. They're building the actual movie. But that's not even the most crazy news we got, because there is a huge twist coming. Now for the juicy part. Filmmakers Bob Persichetti and Justin K. Thompson said last year when they were announced as co-directors, "We have crafted what we feel is a very satisfying ending, and we can't wait for fans to experience it. We're bringing everything we've got." Here's where things get really interesting, because the Spider-Verse updates aren't just coming from cast interviews. Sony's CinemaCon presentation in March 2025 included exclusive footage from Beyond the Spider-Verse that revealed major story details about how this trilogy concludes. The footage hasn't been released publicly, but detailed descriptions from industry insiders give us our clearest picture yet of what's coming. The footage opens with Miles Morales declaring, "Everybody keeps telling me how my story is supposed to go." And why I am talking about this is because recently Phil Lord revealed that Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse opens with Miles Morales as a fugitive, pursued by every other spider hero across the Spider-Verse. He hinted at the stakes, stating, Gwen and his other friends may or may not be enough to help him save the family that's been the leading part of the entire system. This picks up directly from the Across the Spider-Verse ending, where Miles discovered he was supposed to let his father die as a canon event. The imagery shown includes Miles fighting against his alternate universe counterpart, the Prowler version of himself from Earth 42. But guys, this isn't even the craziest part. We haven't gotten even to the new release date yet. Sony's handling of the Beyond the Spider-Verse release date tells its own story about how confident they are in this project. The movie has been through more date changes than any major animated film in recent memory, but each move reveals strategic thinking about maximizing its impact. Originally announced for March 29, 2024, the film was first delayed due to the Hollywood strikes. Then Sony set June 4, 2027 during their CinemaCon presentation. By July 2025, they pushed it back 3 weeks to June 25, 2027, specifically to capture more school-aged audiences when summer vacation fully begins. Now, in the most recent shuffles, Sony moved it up a week to June 18, 2027, positioning it perfectly for Father's Day weekend and Juneteenth. Yes, I know they delayed it again, but it's not an actual delay because it brings it closer. In a recent schedule change, Sony has advanced the release date by a week to June 18th. This new placement strategically aligns the film with the Father's Day weekend and Juneteenth. While this might appear to be another delay, it actually moves the release closer. This final date is strategically brilliant. June 18th, 2027 puts Beyond the Spider-Verse right in the sweet spot of summer blockbuster season, while avoiding direct competition with other major releases. It's also notable that Sony keeps adjusting the date forward rather than pushing it back further, which suggests confidence that production is on track to meet their targets. Let me know if you guys agree with this decision. Now for the important part that no one is talking about, let's address what's really happening behind the scenes, because the production story of Beyond the Spider-Verse is more complex than most coverage acknowledges. The production challenges that delayed Beyond the Spider-Verse also gave Sony Animation time to fully absorb the lessons learned from Across the Spider-Verse's development. That film's production was notoriously demanding on the animation team, with reports of burnout and extremely high standards that pushed everyone to their limits. The extra time for Beyond the Spider-Verse has allowed the studio to approach this conclusion with a more sustainable production process while maintaining the quality that made the series legendary. Let me know what you guys think about this. New reports say exactly this. The technical achievements being promised for Beyond the Spider-Verse suggest Sony Animation is pushing boundaries even further than the previous films. Producer Phil Lord told the CinemaCon audience that they're breaking the boundaries with animation again, and that the film is specifically being prepared for large-format screens. When Lord says it looks insane, he's referring to animation techniques that apparently surpass even the groundbreaking work in Across the Spider-Verse. This technological advancement isn't just about showing off. It serves the story. The multiverse-spanning nature of Beyond the Spider-Verse requires animation that can seamlessly blend different art styles and realities in ways that feel natural rather than jarring. The first two films establish different visual languages for different dimensions, and the conclusion needs to bring all those elements together into a cohesive whole. The biggest screen's emphasis from Lord also suggests that Beyond the Spider-Verse is being designed as a theatrical experience that can't be replicated at home. This is Sony's way of ensuring that the trilogy's conclusion becomes a cultural event rather than just another streaming release. I think the film isn't just concluding Miles' trilogy, it's positioning itself as a foundation for future Spider-Verse content that includes the confirmed Spider-Punk spin-off starring Daniel Kaluuya. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this movie. While Hailee Steinfeld's recording updates provide the most concrete production news, industry reports suggest the voice cast for Beyond the Spider-Verse includes both returning favorites and significant new additions. Shameik is confirmed to return as Miles Morales, with his August 2025 Instagram story indicating he's also been recording new dialogue. Jason Schwartzman returns as the Spot, the villain whose power escalation at the end of Across the Spider-Verse sets up the multiversal threat that Beyond the Spider-Verse must resolve. Daniel Kaluuya's return as Spider-Punk is particularly significant because his character represents the anarchic spirit that Miles needs to embrace. Spider-Punk's philosophy of rejecting authority and challenging systems aligns perfectly with Miles' journey toward independence from the Spider Society's rules. The fact that Kaluuya is getting his own Spider-Punk spin-off suggests his role in Beyond the Spider-Verse will be substantial enough to launch that separate project. Guys, the footage descriptions and cast interviews reveal that Beyond the Spider-Verse is building toward emotional payoffs that have been developing throughout the entire trilogy. Miles' declaration about doing things his way represents the culmination of character growth that began when he first put on the Spider-Man suit. I think what makes this particularly exciting is that all the production indicators suggest Sony Animation has learned from both the successes and challenges of the previous films. The extended development time has allowed for more sustainable production practices, while maintaining the innovation that makes these films special. Steinfeld's enthusiasm about the crazy and fun creative process suggests that the people making the movie are genuinely excited about what they're creating. Reports say the multiverse storytelling framework also positions Beyond the Spider-Verse as potentially influential for how other franchises handle crossover narratives and alternate reality concepts. But what do you think about all these updates? Make sure to hit subscribe and subscribe to Cinema Surge. I barely ask for you guys to subscribe, but I want to hit 10K. If you're as excited as I am finally getting concrete production updates, and subscribe to stay informed about every development as Beyond the Spider-Verse swings toward its release date.